So sorry. I'm going to be gazing longingly.
I'm fine. I'm used to Francesca doing it to me all the time, so I'm happy to add you to the harem. It's fine.
Awesome.
Welcome to the Fangover podcast, where we romance all things that go bump in the night. I'm Francesca from Under the Covers book blog, and I'm joined by
Suzanne, also from Under the Covers book blog.
And today we have a special guest with us, and it's author Juliette Cross, who just released a book this week called Witches Get Stitches, and it's book 3 in the Stay a Spell series. It's a funny paranormal romance, and we are so excited to have you here, Juliette.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm super excited to be here.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the series. I love the series, and for you guys that have been listening to us since season 1, you already listened to us discuss Don't Hex and Drive, which had the delicious Dev, who prepared some really scrumptious food.
We did spend a lot of time on that podcast talking about food in the book.
It made us so hungry. I'm like, I need Deb in my house. Who cares about the sex?
Yeah.
But he can cook.
Yeah, a man who can cook, honestly, is the best.
It really is. Plus, he's hot. I mean,
exactly.
Best
Yeah, double whammy.
Yeah. So, like I said, congratulations on the release of Witches Get Stitches. I was so excited to read about sort of the little bit more of a feisty sister,
right?
And I'm probably saying this wrong, but Savoy sisters, is that right?
It's actually Savoy. Yeah, it's one of those French names. That's okay. It's
okay.
It's so sad though. When I first came up with the sisters' names, I was like, well, yeah, everybody can pronounce this, but not everybody's from South Louisiana, so I was like, yeah, I guess not, But but I like Savoy. Yeah,
Savoy. Okay, so the Savoy sisters, and. So what was your inspiration for this series? Because I think that it has a nice mix of humor, and it captures the essence that we love to see about New Orleans and all the supernatural things there. But it also has a nice sense of family and kind of a small town vibe, even though New Orleans is not a small town, but it kind of has that feeling to me. So where did you get the inspiration for that series, and how it came to be?
Well, let's see. So everything before this point I've written has been sort of on the dark, edgier romance, urban fantasy. And, I might have some humor, to lighten things up, but the overall tone has been rather dark. And I just remember thinking, because this is my first full self-published series. A couple of my books in another series are self-published, but predominantly everything else I started with a small mid-sized press. So I was thinking, what did I want to do? And I was really just in the mood for something totally different. And I can remember actually going to Jessin, my niece, who's also my partner for Smart Women Read Romance. I went to her house and I was like, okay, I want to do witches in New Orleans, and I want it to be funny, And so we just sat there with a couple of bottles of wine. And I actually remember, because I was like, okay, I want the main hero to be a werewolf with a curse, he can't change, but what could we do? And so then we started just coming up with ideas. She's like, oh my god, because when I said I want his inner wolf to talk to him, she's like, yeah, and his name could be Alpha. I was like, yes, his name could be Alpha. I was like, that is so dorky in a fun way, I guess. And honestly, y'all, I'm a total dork, and I like comedy, I like laughing, I love comics, I love just fun fandoms and stuff like that. And so I was really able to just tune into my inner nerd with Evie and have fun with it. And family is very important to me, and so I definitely want to be family oriented. And it's just like you said, another thing about New Orleans is everybody, a lot of the books are set in the French Quarter, and so, but honestly, that's not where a lot of residents hang out. That's really kind of the tourist spot. And one of my visits, because I go there a lot, I live fairly close. I was going down Magazine Street, and I'm like, oh my God, this just is the best neighborhood. The Lower Garden District area, it's cool. They're like residents. They're like walking their labradoodles and like, you know, just hanging out. It was just like such a fun, cool vibe. And I was like, this is where I want to set my witches. Like, you know, this would be great. So that's where it started. I wanted to do something different and funny and lighter and not so intensely dark, you know, people getting kidnapped. Well, although I do have some kidnappings, but you know, they're on the light side of kidnapping.
They're fun.
Fun kidnappings, you know?
It's fun.
As opposed to the scary ones.
Yeah. Well, I think you did that perfectly well.
Oh, thanks.
And I did pick up on this last book where, because Suzanne and I have been to a couple of times to New Orleans for book conferences, and that whole same sense of, you know, the locals don't hang out at the corner. So I did pick up on that when they were in the last book. They're going to the corner, and I'm like, oh yeah, who wants to go there?
Especially Bourbon Street of the Cat's Meow. Like, oh my God. Like the most heavily trafficked by, you know, every drunken bachelor party ever, you know, so. We had
the worst experience.
Oh no!
Traumatizing experience there.
Please tell me.
God. Oh dear Lord! This is actually a friend of ours who got pretty trashed throughout the day, and
that's always good in New Orleans.
Yeah, I know, but so it kept getting progressively worse. He got thrown out of a couple of stores. And then we went on a ghost tour. So that was at the end of the day. At this point, she was completely plastered. Somehow she must have been texting her husband. And then he started calling me like, is she okay? And we got kicked off the ghost tour.
The ghost tours are so cool. Oh my God. That's so funny.
Well, we wouldn't know.
Sad.
We were disturbing everybody.
I remember sitting on the curb with her, and this was my first night, right? So I had sleep in about 48 hours, and I'd been constantly drinking, and yet I still wasn't the most drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, I am from the UK, and we have a reputation of drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Which I guess we can, but it was just so funny. It was so funny.
And from there it just got worse when we're waiting for our other friend to come pick us up because she had rented a car, and the drunk friend is finally sitting down at the curb, and then she decides she has to crawl on the street.
Oh no.
Yeah, and
not
she
on
ended
those
up
streets.
crawling.
Oh.
She crawled into like the gutter area, and then she was like all black.
Oh my God. You don't even
so
want to
I
know.
called my friend that was I know.
So dirty. Oh, it's so dirty. Oh,
yeah, we got her back to the hotel with like trash bags. We asked the bell guy to like loan us the luggage cart to roll her to the room.
I thought we had gotten a wheelchair. It was a luggage cart.
Yeah, after they brought us a wheelchair because they're like, oh dear Lord, this can't be going through the hotel.
But they're probably used to it. They probably have wheelchairs handy, you know? So
that can't be the worst thing they've
God.
seen.
No.
There's probably a special wheelchair for drunks.
No.
You know?
Oh no. Yeah.
But she still felt better than me in the morning. That was really
she was fine the next day. She couldn't remember any of it. She couldn't remember that we had to undress her and like wipe her down with Clorox wipes. Yeah, I know.
Sponge bath.
I mean, it's probably best not to remember that.
Yeah, exactly. She was blocking that out.
Free to use this for a book.
Yeah, her brain was totally like doing her a favor and just like removing that memory.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So that's like the party place of New Orleans, but honestly, there's so much more. There's, you know, it's a really beautiful city elsewhere, and so, and it's funny you say that because I've had a number of reviewers mention that, oh, it's a small town romance. I'm like, well, it, like you said, it's not really. It's actually a giant city, but yes, it's like neighborhoods, you know, I guess maybe similar to New York, how there's smaller neighborhoods where people hang out and kind of like do all of their business and stuff there, you know?
Yeah. And I think with a small town romance, it's all about that sense of community, which I think is what you built really well with the series.
Thank you. Good.
Yeah.
So you were saying that your previous series, they're all like on the dark side. So how did you find kind of writing humor? Is that something that came easily to you? Or because it seems like such a hard thing to do to try and hit everyone's funny bone, you know?
Yeah, it is hard. And honestly, I wasn't sure if I would even be funny. I was just like, let me just kind of write, I guess, more how I think, and less of that moody emo stuff that I usually do. And to be quite honest, Jason sent me a link of Dorinda Jones had this article about writing comedy, and there's certain elements you can actually train yourself in writing to use. And I checked it out and it really helped, and I was like, oh, okay, I can totally do this. And I guess I did it. I mean, people are liking the books. So I guess I've been successful. I mean, I don't think actually book 2 was quite as overtly humorous as the first one.
Yeah.
Just because I think the juxtaposition of Alpha and Mateo was part of the big humor for that one, that they are so opposites. And, Mateo's the nice cinnamon roll and Alpha is like sex and violence. That's all he wants.
And there's definitely some like inherent comedy in that kind of opposite relationship. Right. But no, I thought the second book, like, it made me chuckle.
Oh, good.
It made me laugh.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And I think I use a lot of situational comedy. I'm definitely playing up the quirky aspect of New Orleans characters and people, how there are a lot of free spirits, you know what I mean? And so that really worked well for the sisters of witches, what I want to say, but the coven, where they're kind of free spirits in themselves. And so there's strange things going on, like Violet has a pet rooster, and those things named Fred. And it's kind of funny because I think it seemed like I recently had a reader mention that there's zoning laws for, you can't have chickens in New Orleans. I'm like, yeah, well, there's zoning laws in the small town where I live, and one of my friends lives on Main Street and has, several chickens, and she walks around with them like under her arm, during day drinking festivals. Like, we totally do that shit here in Louisiana. Like, we break laws all the time, those guys. So it's kind of like the norm, I guess, to see stranger things, I guess, in South Louisiana. So anyway.
It does seem to have that reputation that would lend it to that, like, if when I was at New Orleans, if I saw someone going down the street with a chicken or a rooster, I wouldn't have been surprised. I would have looked, but I wouldn't have been shocked by it.
Oh yeah, and you would have smiled and been like, well, that's interesting. And they go on their merry way. I guess that's the unique thing about New Orleans. It's kind of an anything goes city, you know what I mean? Like, even it doesn't have to be Mardi Gras for people to be doing kind of crazy outlandish things. They're just, like I said, sort of, it's almost like got the hippie vibe for the whole town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it did seem like a really like dynamic place when we went there.
Yeah, cool.
I would definitely enjoy going back, and because we stuck mainly to the more touristy areas, so it'd be good to like get out of there and just like scope more of the city out. To see, like,
and I highly encourage that. Highly.
Because New Orleans isn't just Bourbon Street, right? Like, there is more.
No. No. It's as a matter of fact, like, there's some in the series, I have some places that are actually real, and then I have some that are just totally made up to fit my, what I needed. But like the restaurant Grigri in book 2 with Don't Hex and Drive, where Devraj and his Dora go and have their like first lunch, that is totally on Magazine Street, and it is freaking delicious. Like, we had the Jessa and I went there and had old fashions for lunch, and we had it was very nice, and we had the bacon BLT, which was sort of like a deconstructed fried oysters with the big giant slabs of bacon and marmalade on. It was so good. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this place in the book, I mean, might as well highlight some of the great places. And Barrel Proof is actually a bar down there as well, where a lot of things took place. And so unfortunately, though, since COVID, we've not been able to get down there. We kind of want to go back and take some more pictures and kind of hang out, because I get a lot of inspiration just kind of walking around that area,
So do you know how many books you plan in the series? Have you got like a set thing that you want to accomplish, like number? There'll be 6.
but actually 7 with the holiday anthology that's coming out this October. And I'm writing that right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I hadn't expected to do that, and actually Podium is working with me to get it out in audio at the same time, so that'll be fun.
That would be good.
Yeah. I love the narrator.
I've recently come around to audio.
Oh, really? Did you get to listen to either one of these? No?
No, I haven't done, but because I am a very recent audio book.
Yeah, I am too.
I get reader, listener, however, I don't know how you're supposed to say it, because I had tried audiobooks before and they'd never really clicked.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, around the start of COVID.
Yeah.
Or no, probably even less than that. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the last 6 months, I've been like, oh, actually.
And it depends on the narrators.
Right.
A lot, I think, because I've listened to a couple of books and the narrator kind of threw me off, but then in others, the narrators can totally make it a new experience,
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm so happy. The narrators for the whole series are Aiden Snow and Johanna Fairview, and I just think they do an amazing job. Oh my gosh, Aiden Snow.
Oh, you've got 2.
Oh, I have 2, yes. And Aiden.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Aiden Snow has this deep, growly voice, which is so perfect. And I don't even know how he does it for Mateo and Alpha. He goes even deeper and harder. He has a different voice for Alpha. It's so funny.
That sounds good. I need to get that audiobook because I love it when there's dual narrators. I think it really adds something
it does.
To the experience.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Agree.
What I can't stand is when they do English accents.
And they do them wrong.
Oh, yeah. I just so we've read the Night Huntress series. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, you should do the audio. It's really good. And then I heard someone trying to do Bones accent, and he sounded like Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. That's not what British people sound like. Yeah. I don't understand how you could listen to the audiobooks and find Bones attractive.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that happens.
Yeah. As soon as he spoke.
You're like, nope. I'm sure everyone feels like that when somebody tries to do their accent.
Exactly.
And
it's funny because I had to for Podium, they'd asked me to basically, give any instructions that I wanted the narrators to know, how to pronounce things like savoir, and so I went through, cool. The different words and even how to say New Orleans. We don't say Nolans and we don't say New Orleans. People from here say New Orleans, one word, and so I was kind of particular about that, and I was just like, please just don't have any accent at all, because in Louisiana there are several different kinds of accents. There's just Southern in Baton Rouge, it's just a Southern city accent. Up north, it's country, almost sounds like Mississippi or Texas or something. And then down here, you have the Cajun accent, but in New Orleans, it is literally, it's what they call a Yat accent. I know it sounds strange, but it sounds almost like New York,
Oh, okay.
It's just a city accent. So I was like, just don't have any accent at all. That would be perfect. Just keep it normal.
Good shout. I think that's a good shout. Just have whatever accent you have naturally.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna offend or put someone off.
Yeah.
If you try to do a stereotypical Southern accent and then you offend everyone in the South.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, what draws you to the paranormal genre rather than, I don't know, doing historical or contemporary or the other subgenres?
Well, it's interesting because my favorite genres to read have always been historical and paranormal. Historical is very difficult, though. I have so much respect for historical romance authors because of the research and knowing that world so well. It requires a lot of just research to get it all right. And paranormal, I think I'm just, from a little girl, I was drawn to, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings and even Harry Potter. I wasn't a little girl then. I was an adult when Harry Potter came around. But, I've just loved those kinds of stories with magic and mystery and, the evil villain, good versus evil and all that. And so, so it's just, been exciting. But I used to say that I would never write contemporary because I would bore people to tears. You know, I was like, I don't know what to do if, you know, there's not a vampire jumping out from somewhere, you know, or something. But I'm actually writing and publishing my first contemporary next year. So I'm excited. Yeah.
That is exciting. Is it set in New Orleans?
No. I guess I can kind of make an announcement about it. It's kind of
okay. That would be
fantastic. It's oh look, Francesca's back. Good, just in time for some news. So I haven't really shared this publicly, but Francesca was just sharing that I'm publishing my first contemporary romance next year.
Ooh.
And so it's going to be with the Smarty Pants romance universe, with Penny Reed's universe. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
So,
nice.
Yeah, so it'll be set in Green Valley. It'll be
nice.
Fun. Yeah, it's
nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to be a part of that. She's awesome, and the whole community of authors in that group are amazing, and we've been just I've been enjoying just getting to know them and collaborating with them on different things. So it's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, that's exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love Penny Reed. I've read some of the like world ones, but not that many. It's one of those things, it's like I'll read that eventually.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and there are a lot. There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because all the ones I've read, I've like really enjoyed.
Yeah, it's all sort of got that quirky bent. So it's similar and sort of the tone I'm going with, and Stay a Spell. You know, it's similar.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Thank you. I'm excited.
I can't wait to see that.
This is the first place I've publicly said it too. So
actually, that was one of our questions. not that, but like if you were to write in something other than paranormal.
Yeah. Well, I am. I'm writing contemporary. It's gonna feel like Stay a Spell, and I'm actually after I finish the holiday anthology this summer, I'll start writing book 1 in my own series set in Cajun country, which is where I live in South Louisiana. So
nice.
Yeah. So I'm doing lots of things.
That's good.
Yeah. It sounds like you got a lot going on, but it sounds really exciting.
Thank you.
Can't wait to
it
see
is. I'm really excited about this next year. I'm thrilled to death that readers are loving Stay a Spell as much as they are, because I love them. I love writing in this world. Book 4, God, y'all, Gareth and Libby, I can't even tell you. It's, God. I just keep laughing because I'm writing. So there's a short in the holiday anthology for Gareth and Libby, and it's basically everything that was going on behind the scenes during Witches Get Stitches. Like,
okay,
what was really happening when they met, and all of that, and the telepathic imagery that he sent her will be confessed. But the Grimms, I've kept them a mystery on purpose, so I'm really excited to finally share what they're all about and what they can do. So it'll be interesting.
I am so interested about the Grimms, actually. Like from the first time they showed up on the page, and I'm like, ooh, I need to know more.
Yeah. And they're I don't know, Gareth and Henry, they have a propensity for kink, so it'll be interesting for sure.
Nice.
Nice.
Can't wait. So does that mean should we assume that Ruben's going to be resting witch face?
Yes, Ruben and
Jules
are resting witch face. Jules is my resting witch face.
Okay, good.
Yes, and that one will definitely be the darker, angstiest of them. Probably more a different tone, even, I would say, overall than, I mean, it's still going to have, I think, obviously some humor and whatever, but it's going to feel a little bit different than the others. And then I'll end it with Grim and Barrett, which is Clara and Henry, and that one will be more on the lighter side. So so end with something really positive and fun, even though he's got I can't say, I'm sorry. He's got one of the aspects of being a Grim that Gareth does not have, but is really interesting, I think.
Dropping all these hints and leaving us hanging.
Yeah.
I'll say, I'll tell you off air. How about that?
Fine. I can't wait.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
So I know that I know that you posted something on your Instagram where you classified your witches by the zodiac. And here at the Fangover, we've been going over characters based on like what zodiac design they would fit. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting if you share with us what kind of witch goes where according to the zodiac.
Okay. Yeah. So I loved doing this for Instagram. And it's funny because I didn't even realize that Instagram limited you to the number of words you could have. Because I've never written a long post, and I was like, what do you mean I can't do 4 at a time? So I had to break it up into 4 parts. So, and I did them in order. So yeah. So Aquarius, my Aquarius people, they have energy, warmth, and a deep desire to get things done. So, and a desire to change the world. That's kind of their overall, they're very idealistic as well. So I thought they would make great conduits, because they're all about helping other people, and conduits are healers and that kind of thing. But they would also, I think, make good hex breakers, because this type of witch and warlock has to persevere in finding the right spell. It can require like Evie weeks, months to seek out and divine the right, hex breaking spell or whatever. So that was Aquarius. Where do you ladies lie, by the way? I'm curious.
I'm Aquarius.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
You do-gooder, you. Yeah.
I'm a Leo.
Oh, you're a fun one. Okay, so Pisces are compassionate, thoughtful, and well attuned to their emotions. So of course I thought that would be good auras like Clara. They like to spread their little joy spells around. Aries, which is what my husband is, and this is totally him. Passionate and independent. Aries will never do something just because everyone else is doing it. They're competitive leaders, and basically, but they're also just like super confident, which is super sexy, and so that would definitely be an influencer. I think that's the only thing an Aries would be, because they're naturally charming and just draw people to them, very charismatic. So let's see. Our Taurus people are smart, ambitious, and trustworthy. So I thought they would make good enforcers or siphons like Jules, because they have to basically be judge and jury. And so they need to be well balanced in that. Gemini are curious, engaging, and charismatic as well. So I think they would be good influencers like the Aries, like Livy. Cancer, which is what I am, they're the nurturing, supportive, affectionate people. So, an aura, they're emo. So I totally am. So I definitely would be an aura, which is, tapping into my emotions and trying to like make everybody happy all the time. Or conduits, which, are healers. So that's that. And then let's see, the Leos, here we go, Suzanne. Dramatic, creative, dramatic, creative, self-confident, and dominant, and extremely difficult to resist. They exude
all true.
Yes. They exude warmth and creativity with big, capital BIG personalities. So I definitely thought they would be influencers 100%, because people, again, are drawn to Leos, just like Gemini and Aries. Like, they just want to be around them and soak them all up. So good influencer or a warper. My Virgos are loyal, analytical, and kind and hardworking. So they would be divine seers, I thought, because they would determine with absolute accuracy what the vision means. They would be very close with that. Libras, peaceful, fair, and highly social. They hate to be alone, but they also crave balance and justice and equality. So again, definitely siphons or enforcers like Jules, because they would be fair-minded in judging or not judging people. So let's see, my last 3 are Scorpios. Scorpios are powerful, brave, and loyal to the nth degree. Also passionate and assertive people with determination. They would be good hex breakers, because it requires determination to definitely, find the hex breakers like Evie, like it's not just breaking a hex, they also have to be like peacemakers, you know what I mean? Like they have to figure out why did they put a hex on you in the first place? Let's figure this out and, resolve it. Of course, she just had to like, they had to kill the witch in book 1. So, sorry, spoiler. But anyway, there was no going back for her. Sagittarius are fun-loving, vibrant, and always the life of the party. They're independent and open-minded. So they would actually make good auras because of their overt and innate friendliness and emotional drive. And again, fair-minded siphons like Jules. And then Capricorns, which is what my daughter is, and this is 100% her, responsible, disciplined, and have an abundance of self-control. I loved... basically Capricorns were full grown at age 6, like, they're like, super reliable. So I think they would be good divine seers like Violet, because they would basically pay attention to detail, and they would use all of their skills to like figure out what exactly this person needs and what kind of guidance they need and the vision they need and all that good stuff. So, yep. And that's it.
Nice.
I sped through them, but if anybody wants to see the post, they can check it out on Instagram. So
yeah. I love that. I think that I love like how you have so many kinds of witches and like how everything works together with the world. So it's super interesting to me.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
that.
you.
And you're so much kinder with your descriptions than we are. Like,
I did not go into the weaknesses really.
Yeah.
I mean, we always delve really deep into the weaknesses. I can't remember what star sign it is, where we just found all the addicts.
Pisces. Yeah, that was a harsh episode, and then we're like, oh wow, we really like honed in on like addicts and this. Oh my god,
I'm a Cancer. I don't want to do that. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like, come on.
We don't seem to have that worry. I mean, we weren't very nice.
Yeah, because you're an Aquarius and a Leo.
Gemini's got a bit of a beat in as well.
Oh yeah, so, I know.
Yeah, poor Gemini. They're wild. Geminis are wild. Yeah. Oh goodness.
We're like shallow and untrustworthy.
Yeah, it's actually fun. I did look at all the weaknesses of these while I was going through them. I'm like, wow. It's fun. It's fun.
I feel like it's so much easier to pick characters that would fit the signs based on the wickedness.
I know. Exactly.
Yeah. So another thing that I actually think that you do really well is having each one of your characters have a very distinct personality, so it doesn't feel like you're reading like the same heroine over and over, the same hero. So do you have a heroine or any character that you've written so far, it doesn't have to be in the series, that you relate the most to?
Evie's by far the most autobiographical of any of my heroines. So when people like hated her in Wolf Gone Wild, I was like, I'm so sorry, we can't be friends. Fine, go away. But I'm very nerdy and a little quirky and overly optimistic sometimes, I guess. And so that was definitely Evie, So if you loved her, we can be besties, definitely. But yeah, it's funny you even say that though, because one thing I set forth in this series was to write very different heroines, very different heroes, and very different stories. So each storyline I want it to be totally different, and so you wouldn't feel like you're just sort of like regurgitating the plot over and over or whatever. And I thought it would just be fun to have a sister that anybody could relate to, like Jess and my niece and partner in crime for the podcast is Adora 1000%. Like she, as a matter of fact, in my first draft when I wrote Isadora, and because she gets anxiety around people because she's so introverted. I have no idea what this fucking feels like. Like I'm not like that, and so after my first draft, Jess and read it, she's like, well, I don't know if I would, if it were me, if I would react this way. And so I was like, okay, so I needed to tell me, what would she do if this happened? Like, how would she feel?
Right.
And so I was able to basically internalize or channel her introvert to be sure I got the introvert right, because I didn't at first draft, you know, and so but I wanted, you know, like I said, I want a kind of personality that everybody could be like, oh yeah, that's my sister, like I'm her, I'm Violet, I'm completely filterless, and which is also not like me, but fun to write. Oh my god, so much fun to write. It's fun to write the bad girl who with a potty mouth, you know.
Well, I mean, that's something that I definitely appreciate in the books, so it
good.
stands
Thank
out,
you.
so.
I appreciate you appreciating it, Francesca.
But I mean, I have to say, nothing can beat Alpha, so.
Yeah, so far Alpha rules it all, and I just have to say, oh god, there's some scenes in the holiday anthology. I just can't wait. You guys, I need y'all to read it, because he's adorable. Good. He's adorable.
Alpha's the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved in Witches Get Stitches when there was that one little scene where Evie has to like talk Mateo down, and she actually was talking to Alpha, like she can tell when Alpha's out. So I love that.
Yeah,
I'm
they totally.
His head, please.
I know,
switch
like,
point of view.
Like she can totally read him now, who she's speaking to. Yeah,
I love that. That.
Awesome.
I do love shifter books where like the animal side of them is almost separate.
Yeah, it is.
Like that is always quite fun.
It is. I 1000% agree.
So I guess that could segue us into some funny paranormal / urban fantasy recommendations. Have you read any that you love?
I do. So I love book one is Love Bites by Cynthia St. Aubin. It's Tales from the Alpha Art Gallery series, and she is so funny. Oh my god, it's so funny. The series is not complete. I think the fourth book hasn't quite come out, but it's also a werewolf. The art gallery owner is a werewolf, and so she's like, you know, comes to work for him, and so it's a world where there's all this other, you know, different kinds of paranormals and stuff that live there, and it's just great humor. Cynthia is a natural at that, so I really love that one. And it is just, if anybody's interested, it's a romance over several books. It's the same couple, so it's not like standalone. I also love Hidden Legacy by Dorinda Jones. Just the first three are my favorites. Nevada.
Do you mean
Ilona Andrews, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ilona Andrews. I say Dorinda Jones. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ilona Andrews. Thank you. Oh my God. So sorry.
Suzanne had a heart attack.
I'm sorry, Suzanne. I'm sorry. I think because I had Dorinda Jones in my head from earlier. Because I also like the Charlie Davidson series. Yes, I do like that one as well. But no, Ilona Andrews. Hidden Legacy. Nevada and Mad Rogan are one of my favorite couples ever. I think she is so amazing at writing, or I should say they are at writing, you know, both with humor and serious plot lines and everything, but like the humor overrides everything, and it's always, there's like great sexual tension in their books, and I think Ilona Andrews is like my queen, you know, as far as like just paranormal romance in general. So
thank you, because I am a massive fangirl, and I had Ilona Andrews to mention for mine. And I try and fit Ilona Andrews into every episode, even if we're talking about something completely different. And I didn't even need to do it this episode. Someone has done it for me and spoken about Hidden Legacy.
Oh yeah, it's one of the top series. Amazing. I recommend every time. I just think Nevada and Mad Rogan. Yeah. I love to reread the first one just from their quote unquote neat cute, which wasn't cute at all, but just hilarious, amazing. Oh, it's such a good opening. Yeah,
and he's such a good hero too. Yeah. It's like, oh my god,
he's the perfect hero. He is.
Love it.
Yeah,
agree.
He's so good. Take a moment of silence, just think about how much you love Ilona Andrews, please.
I do, and I do love. I mean, I haven't read all of Kate Daniels, but the ones I've read, I love. I know. I'm so sorry, y'all. This series is so long.
Right. You need to leave the podcast now.
I know. I'm All right. Look, we did.
Plus the sci-fi clean sweep was pretty good.
I know. Well, we did a review on both the first Innkeeper, and we did a review, I think, on book 4 or 5 of Kate Daniels, whichever one, which was like the big claiming scene where he chases her down. So
yeah,
and chase her down. It's one of my favorite scenes ever.
yeah.
I like claiming scenes. I'm big on that. But yeah, the only reason I have not is because I'm like, I have to balance my time between writing and reading, and I have podcast reading, and I have all the excuses.
That's a lot. Like, how do you do that? Because you guys read a lot for your podcast, which, by the way, I mean, why don't you introduce your podcast for whoever hasn't been listening to it?
Yeah. Smart Women Read Romance. It's a podcast with me and my niece, Jessin. And let's see, we've been doing it 2 years, or I don't even know, 2.5 years now. And we post every week, and we basically only pick books that we really love, that we would probably give 4 or 5 stars to, and so that we can fangirl over it. And we just break down the book. And and we do every genre. Like, we don't stick to one genre. And I think, honestly, I told Jessin this, and I've said it a number of times, even on the podcast, that her sort of like force feeding me contemporaries has gotten me to love contemporaries in a way that I was like, I think I want to write this. I think I want to do this, and so it's funny because all I've ever written is paranormal until this year, even though I've only published paranormal up to now. And now I want to write everything. Like, I have I have some light contemporary romance I want to publish. I have a dark romance series I can't wait to get to. I still want to write my light paranormal. And at some point I have a darker paranormal series waiting in the vault as well. So
nice.
Yeah. I don't
lots of writing and lots of reading.
Yeah. I just love romance. I love all the romance. I love all the genres,
Love it. I love that.
Do you want me to go next?
So you can go next, Suzanne. Go ahead.
Okay. So obviously, we spoke about Elena Andrews.
Yay.
I won't say anymore, but I do support that. So my next one is a book that I know that, well, I don't know if Juliette will like or not, but I know that Francesca will heavily dislike if she ever decided to read it. I know that she wouldn't like it. But I'd love to see you try and see your faces.
She likes to torture me. It's okay.
That's what friends do.
And it's called Night of a Trillion Stars by Dara Joy, and it's night as in K.
Oh no. I know this cover. No, it's not happening. No, it's not happening.
All right, you're having.
It's like an old. It's an older book. I think it's like a proper old. I think it's like 90s.
You gave this book for Christmas to Annie, didn't you?
Yes, I did as a joke, and I really hope she read it. But
the cover's not that bad now online. Like, they changed it because it's it must be self-published.
It was one of those really cheesy old ones, but I legit love it. So,
oh god,
I mean, I haven't read it for a while, but the plot is it's like modern day, as in modern day in the 90s. The heroine is at some kind of convention. It's either like a Comic-Con or a book convention. It's something like that. And she gets kidnapped by, I mean, this is sci-fi, like by a knight, like alien knight person who takes her through a portal to wherever. And I can't remember why he does it. I think they might be a fated mate story. And they basically, like, he's saving her or something, and they have adventures together. And
obviously this one was riveting for you.
The thing I remember most about, I mean, it is genuinely really funny, but it has been about 10 years, I think, since I've read it, but it always sticks in my mind. And I've got it on Kindle for when I, like, in case I fancy going back to it. But I mean, he's an alien in the sense that he's just better looking and more well hung than a human man. Like, it's that kind of alien. There you go. Like, do you know from the old Johanna Lindsay sci-fi one?
Yes.
It's got that vibe going about it, because it kind of once she's been portaled out of Earth, it kind of felt like a historical romance. So the bit I remember most is that the heroine wanted to do something and create something for the hero, because by that point they'd fallen in love. So she finds what she thinks is clay and made him a pot, and it turns out to be animal dung, but he takes it because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings and just tells her later. I mean, that is my abiding memory of that book, and it's much funnier on the page than I've just described it. But it is a book.
It is a book.
Truly, it truly brings me so much happiness just to even think about it.
Oh my
that
God.
I'm afraid to reread it in case it doesn't live up to this warm fuzzy feeling I get whenever I think about it. And I think about it a surprising amount.
Yeah, your 10-year ago self might have found it funnier than your current self. But
and I have a feeling that it'll be problematic in the present day as well. I think that
starting from the kidnapping part.
That's fine.
Kidnapping is always so funny, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's light-hearted kidnapping, and that's okay. I mean, normally I do actually avoid kidnapping books because I don't normally like them, but 10 years ago it was fine. You had forced seduction 10 years ago, and apparently that was fine too. But no, so that's why I've kind of avoided rereading this book, because I don't want to remove that memory of how much joy Night of a Trillion Stars brought me. But I want to just share that with the world in case anyone wants to hadn't heard of it and they really want to read it, to give it a go and let me know what you think, because it's unique. It's a very unique kind of read.
Awesome. It's on my long TBR. It's on there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, really, if you ever do read it, just let me know how you think of it. I mean, I know Francesca will never read it.
I'm gonna send you screenshots. What the hell is this?
I'll
be like, just enjoy it. Don't think too deeply about it. Just
just don't break it down.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's funny.
I'm gonna be honest, quite a few of my recommendations are kind of in this vein. Do you want another one?
Yeah.
It's called Contagion by Amanda Milo. Now I'm thinking about it in coronavirus times, it might not be the most, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Fuck it. This is an alien romance, and the crux of the humor is that you have an alien hero who looks a bit like Predator from the Predator films, a mix between Predator and Alien.
Interesting.
From the Alien, you have an alien looks like that, who is the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, and has massive hypochondria, and he thinks he's going to catch everything, and he gets saved from being kidnapped by a human woman, and then they have to battle through this jungle as he's afraid of getting dirty and mud and that he might catch something and die, whilst this human woman who's our heroine is looking after this huge scary beast of an alien. It's a really short book, but it's just so funny.
The setup is funny,
the
for sure. A germaphobe alien.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, it couldn't sustain it for long, which is why it's a novella-sized book.
Yeah.
But while it lasts, the humor is great, and I love it, and I quite like Amanda Milo anyway, and this is just so good. It's so good. Funny. I mean, again, Francesca won't like it.
I love all your recommendations. Francesca will hate this one, but
everyone else with good taste.
There you go.
No, it's just that I know what Francesca's tolerance for alienness is.
Yeah, there's a line.
Yeah, I'm slowly trying to get that tolerance to raise, but it's a slow process. So we've been friends for 10 years and I'm still going.
You can have differences and still be besties. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And it's actually funny because sometimes we like the same books, but we like them for completely different reasons.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Jess and I are like that. Most of the time we're completely aligned, but every now and then she'll send me one that I'm just like, why would you send this to me? I can't believe they're separated for 20 years. I hate this book. You know, like I hate separation in books, and it like triggers me so bad. And anyway,
I think once you've been like friends for so long, you get to know the other one's taste, which was a surprise.
Well.
Why our first series of this podcast was what we would like choose a book for everyone else to read. And we didn't find one book that we agreed on.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. And yet you're doing a book podcast together.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, here you have like all these different opinions.
Right.
Yeah. It's like you get the two extremes. Normally I would hate it, and Francesca would like it, or vice versa. Like, but
it's fine.
So whatever your opinion in it would have been reflected in the episode.
Yeah, there you go.
Francesca, do you have any?
Yes.
Okay, I got a whole list. I love. See, I don't go for dark stuff normally. Like, I have a very low tolerance for anything
dark,
like taboo or dark, or that, because I think about it too much, and I think about how it would work in real life, and then I'm like, no, this doesn't work for me. This is abuse. I don't like it, and I'll stop reading it. So like light, funny paranormal romance is my jam. Or light, funny anything.
Sci-fi.
Oh, sci-fi. Yeah. Anything with an alien in it. I'm all for it.
Oh gosh, Ruby Dixon. Yes.
She's on my list as well.
Oh, look, I definitely should have like mentioned. I love the blue aliens. Holy cow, the ice planet.
Yeah, it's so good. I'm so glad it's got popular, and I'm so glad she's doing so well.
Yes, me too.
The series I had highlighted was the Corsair series, and the new series, the Corsair Brother series, because I think they're really funny.
Yeah,
it's all like,
I've only read like one of those, but I've read almost all, I think, of the Ice Planet Barbarian ones, whatever, they're like 14 or something crazy, but they're just so good. They're so good.
They're so funny. Francesca again. I mean, I think you thought they were okay, but they didn't.
I mean, the first
one, you like they did me.
The first one was a little iffy, but then that other one, the last one you made me read, was not bad.
You have to totally suspend disbelief and all of that. Like, it's, this is not like a realistic alien. This is just like, an alien cinnamon roll barbarian guy who wants to take care of his human girl, and it's crazy.
If I was going to be
mushy for me.
Oh no! If I was going to be kidnapped and taken anywhere, I want it to be to the ice planet.
Yeah.
They may not have toilets or Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It's kind of
but they have other things to keep you
entertained. It's kind of historical-esque feeling, Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah, go for it. All right, Francesca, tell me yours.
So the first one I have is the Midnight Liaison series by Jessica Sims, and it's basically a supernatural dating agency. Like, that's all the books in the series. There's 4, plus there's a prequel novella that I think was I can't remember in what anthology. So the first book technically is Beauty Dates the Beast, and it's a shifter and a human. So he puts out an ad through the supernatural agency to find him a human woman that is not opposed to somebody that has a tail. So
who would be?
I mean, Suzanne for sure wouldn't.
That's an adorable premise. I love the premise. That's super cute.
And they're adorable. Like, there's one where the hero is a bear, and there's a vampire in another one. Like, they're just really, really funny.
That's awesome.
And they're really sexy. Like, I just really love her writing style. I mean, Jessica Sims is Jessica Clare, same author.
Okay, cool.
So so I definitely recommend that whole series. It's nice, lighthearted, PNR fun.
I'm getting some new ideas. Awesome.
I need to read that. I'm surprised that I haven't.
They're fast too. Like, there's a little bit of intrigue. Like, there's always some kind of mystery going on, along with the dating agency. Yeah, well, there you go. Actually, I think there's more, because on Amazon it doesn't have the whole series like grouped together, because she self-published some of them.
Yeah.
So I think there's more than 4, and there's a bunch of novellas. Like, I've also read all the novellas, so I wasn't counting those. So they're lots of fun. So lots of reading there. My second one was actually one that you already mentioned, which is Dorinda Jones. I think that's a must read for anybody that wants something fun.
Yes.
Suzanne doesn't like it, but you know.
I middle of the road it because I find Charlie, right?
Charlie.
Yeah.
Charlie. Oh, I just want to punch her in the face by the end of the book. I am so sick of being in her head.
Oh.
She's too.
I love Charlie.
She's too self-aware for me. I just find it irritating. And I shouldn't find it irritating because it's normally exactly the kind of book that I would love, but it didn't click with me so much.
I love Charlie. I love Reyes. I love pretty much everybody in that series. So I think they're a ton of fun. And I just love to see her like solving all these like mysteries. And then there's Angel, and I mean all the characters are just stellar.
Yeah.
Maybe I should give it a second.
You should. I think you should.
Maybe I was in a bad mood when I read it.
Probably. You're always in a bad mood.
I know. I'm terrible.
Yeah, Dorinda Jones is really good humor, though. I definitely give her that.
I mean, I have more. If you want something a bit darker involving brains.
Ooh.
And surprising because this is a new adult book, and you know how I feel about anyone under the age of 25. So, so this is My Life as a White Trash Zombie by Diana Rowland. I got this purely because that cover is amazing, and it's the same artist who does the
Mercy Thompson.
Ooh.
Is it Daniel Santos? I can't remember his name.
Daniel Santos, amazing work.
Yeah. I got that book without really investigating the premise because I'm like, zombie, because it was when zombies were really big, and that cover is amazing. It's so good. So it's about this girl. Her life is like kind of going nowhere. Like she's unemployed, whatever. She's kind of, I think she's like semi-homeless at the beginning of the book, until she gets infected and becomes a zombie, and needs to eat brains. And when she gets a job with other zombies who work in like the coroner's office so that they can eat the brains of corpses.
It's a lot funnier than it sounds.
This is delightful.
It's actually a lot funnier than she's making it seem.
Yeah. Hey, if you want jokes about body parts falling off during sex, this is the book that you read.
Oh my gosh.
And there is a place for that. Because I am making it sound really bad, but it's I'm sure it's told from her point of view. And she's just really funny.
Yeah,
and,
I enjoy dark humor though. I mean,
yeah, it's like, and there's like a suspense subplot and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a police guy who is also, because there is romance in this, who is also a zombie, and the romance is kind of between them.
Cute.
It is really good. I really enjoyed it.
I second that.
That one does sound
like
fun though. I mean,
that's
definitely one I would read in the fall when I'm kind of in the mood for like the creepier books, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's dark humor, but it's dark humor, but a fairly light book. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So like, you know, eating brains is funny, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're not like zombies who have lost their mind and they're just become like mindless husks. I think that's what happens when you starve. So as long as you're eating brains, like your body stays intact and you keep your mind. It's when you're starving that you become like the typical like zombie. I need to continue that series. I think I've only read the first one or two, but it was so good.
It sounds good. It really does.
I really enjoyed that. I have one more, okay guys.
Go ahead, give it to us.
And it's a Lazy Girl's Guide to Magic series by Helen Harper. And the first one is called Slouch Witch. And I'm going to be honest, guys, I really identified with this heroine. What she wanted to do is kind of eat snacks and lounge around on the sofa.
Oh, yeah.
I can totally relate. And people kept interrupting her to like do stuff because like she's like a fairly powerful like witch, but you know,
she was put out by that.
I mean, like Taskmaster's on, and she just wants to watch comedians do stupid shit. But it's just really funny. I love the heroine.
Cute.
Like being like,
I love grumpy heroines. Grumpy heroines are so fun.
They're the best.
I mean, she's not even grumpy. She's kind of, well, she's really funny. And there's this like opposites attract. So you've got the really uptight, taking responsibility, like mage or witch, and then who's trying to like pry her off the, like get her to do stuff. But he doesn't really want to, but he has to. And then there's her who's like the really easygoing, like, chill out, dude. It's also set in the UK, which is something I enjoy. I think it's set in Oxford.
So yeah, fun.
Yeah, it's really good. It's on Kindle Unlimited as well. But I've read that whole series and it's really cool. It's a finished series as well, so you don't need to wait around for books.
Cool. All right.
Well, I definitely just picked up my copy of Love Bites by Cynthia St. Aubin because it's actually also free on Kindle, the first book. So
that's right. I forgot. I totally forgot. It is free right now. Yeah. And she's like,
can start it.
Yeah, I love Cynthia. Like we actually became friends. We met at one of the RT conventions, the one in Atlanta years ago, and I hadn't read her books yet, but one of her best friends is Kerrigan Byrne, who I had read and like love Kerrigan's books like so much. And and so I don't know, just like out of the blue, I was like, I want to try Cynthia's book. I was like practically peeing myself laughing so hard. Like it's so, she's just a natural. It's so funny. I think if you like Charlie Davidson, you'll enjoy it. But that doesn't mean that, Suzanne, you still need to give it a try.
Hey, it's free. I'll give it a go. No,
the heroine's a bit quirkier even than Charlie. She's like,
oh wow,
nice.
My God, I love it. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading that.
Awesome.
More books to read. I'm really in the mood for like something light at the moment.
Well, you can't read something light like immediately because podcast books to read. So
damn it.
So I wanted to just bring it back to Witches Get Stitches. And what can you close this out with? Just tell people what they can expect from this book.
Okay, so we have Violet, who's kind of a snarky, potty mouth witch. She's a divine seer. Which in my world, basically, she's a psychic. She has visions and she can, see the truth for other people, but not so much for herself. And my hero is a werewolf named Nico, and they actually meet on New Year's Eve in Austin when she's visiting a friend one year, and they have a sexy encounter at the bar, and then she jets immediately because that's kind of her MO. She doesn't really... it's not that she's like a commitment phobe or anything like that, but she had a vision, which you get in the prologue early on, that she, there is one guy she's sort of waiting for. So she's, she's sex positive and enjoys flings with guys and stuff, but just doesn't stay in relationships. So she goes back to New Orleans, and Nico knows that she is hers immediately and follows her there. It sounds a little stalkerish, but it's not, I promise. And so they become friends, and so he is like patiently biding his time. But when Witches Get Stitches starts, he's kind of like his patience is running out. So he's going to play a little dirty to get her to realize her feelings, and he does. And we have a little bit of the backstory is that he was part of a wolf pack, and they kind of come looking for him, and he's not really happy about that. There's like some history, and he definitely does not like them sniffing around Violet. He's like having none of that shit. So so he's super dominant and all those good things. And and it's, overall the tone's very light, funny. There's a rooster named Fred. She likes to paint his nails, his talons, whatever.
And he's wearing a bow tie.
Always. I can't remember if it was book 1 or 2. He was wearing his rainbow, his pride tie. He's like proudly, wearing his pride tie. But, it's Fred reflects Violet's personality, which is don't put her in a fucking box. She is Violet, and she'll be herself, and nobody can tell her otherwise. So, yep. And I'm excited. I'm really excited. This is midway now through the series, and things are ramping up for the other guys, which you'll see, visits from everybody in the backdrop, the other sisters and their couples and significant others that are coming into play.
Very fun. We do recommend everybody go get it. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait for the next one. So
Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So thanks for listening, guys. And thank you so much to Juliette for joining us and chatting with us today. Next week, we're going to be diving into Claimed by J.R. Ward, which is the first in a spin-off of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So we are pretty excited to get to reading that and sharing our thoughts with you next week. So don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and give us a rating, of course, 5 stars. And you can find us in the wild at thefangover.com, on Instagram at thefangover, and also on our Facebook group, The Fangover Podcast. And you can find me on Instagram at UTC Book Blog and under thecoversbookblog.com. Suzanne?
And you can find me on Instagram at Tales of Suzanne. I have been a little bit quiet in the last few weeks because of stuff. But I will be back soon. So, follow me anyway. There's loads of stuff on there you can go and like if you would. And under thecoversbookblog.com, you can find me there too.
And Juliette, where can they find you?
Instagram at Juliette Cross author, and on Facebook as well. I hang out on Instagram mostly. That's my favorite place. I just started TikTok. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm trying. But yeah, there are a couple of posts there at TikTok. So
nice.
Thanks, guys.
Go find her there and follow all her stuff and go read her books.
Thank you.
So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.